Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Saga Data Labs. I hope all of you are doing great. Now in this video, we will go ahead and first understand the interface of MySQL workbench. Then we will go ahead and create our first database and our first table. We will also understand how to insert the data in the table and how to retrieve that data from the table. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's begin by understanding the interface of MySQL Workbench. This is how the first page will look. Go ahead and click on the connection which you have created while installing the MySQL Workbench. Now, on the top right side, you will be able to see the buttons to toggle the tabs. You can either enable those tabs or you can disable those tabs. So the area where my cursor is blinking, this area is called as SQL editor. This is where we will be going ahead and writing our SQL queries. Now the area below that is called as the action output area. This is where the execution results show up. On the left hand side, you will be seeing these two tabs, which are administration and schema. Administration tab is used when MySQL server is not working properly and you want to troubleshoot, while schema tab is used to see everything which you create inside MySQL workbench, whether it is a database, whether it is a table or a view or stored procedure. Okay, now couple of options at the top are worth discussing. So first of all, go ahead and click on this edit button which you are seeing here and go to the preferences option. Once you go there, a dialog box will open and you can click on font and colors. This is where you can change the SQL editor font settings, its size and the theme of SQL workbench. So now let me just click on OK. And at the top, you will be seeing these bold icons. Now, this icon is used to execute the whole query which is available in the MySQL workbench. That means whatever is written on the screen, it will go ahead and execute everything. But if you want to execute only the selected portion, then you have to use this bold sign. This was the interface of MySQL workbench. Now let's go ahead and create our first database. To create the database, we will go ahead and use the command create database followed by database name. So let's write the query and we will create the company database here and end the statement with semicolon. So there are two things to remember here. First, SQL is case insensitive language. So whether you write create database in uppercase or lowercase, it does not make any difference. Second point to remember is every SQL statement has to be ended with the semicolon as it is the end of statement symbol used in MySQL. Okay, so let's go ahead and create it. Now let me enable the left hand side. Now you will be seeing in schema tab that nothing is showing up. Just go ahead and refresh all. Now the company DB is showing up. Now to select the database, we use command and then we type the database name. And again, as I said, every SQL statement is to be ended with semicolon, so we will put it here. And since I only want this statement to run, I will use the second option here and I will run it. Now this database is selected. Now if I go to action output, I'll be able to see that this command has successfully execute it. Okay, so this is how we create the database. Now we will go ahead and create the table inside this database. To create the table, we will be using create table command followed by the table name. And inside the parenthesis, we will define column and its data type. Now, data type is nothing but the type of data which can be stored in that column. Anything apart from that type, if we try to store it in that column, then it will throw the error. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the table. So now we will be going ahead and creating the employees table. Let's open the parenthesis. And the first field or column which I want to define is employee ID. And I want to give it the data type of int, which stands for integer. We will just give a comma and we will define the second column, which is emp name. Now, the data type of emp name will be string. To store the string, we use varchar in SQL. So I will give varchar 50. That means a name which has 50 characters length can be easily stored in this. Okay. Again, next we will be having age column, which will be int. Department, again string, so I will use varchar. And we will be using salary column, which should be int, and we will be closing the parenthesis. So this is the structure of creating the table. What we did here is we used the create command along with table, and we defined the table name. Then we defined the column names along with the data types. So our table is created. Now let's go ahead and check out if it is showing up on the left hand side under schema tab. Just right click and refresh all. And once you click on that, you will be able to see the employees table. Also, if you go ahead and expand columns, you'll be seeing the columns which we have defined here. So table looks perfect. Now we will go ahead and insert the data into the table. Before inserting the data in the table, we will see how we can check the structure of a table. To do that, we will use the describe keyword. So we will say describe, and we will put our table name, and we will run this query. So now we know what are the columns of the table and we know what are their data types. Now it will be very easy for us to go ahead and insert the data. To insert the data, we will be using the insert into command. So let's go ahead and see how it works. So there are two methods of inserting the data. I will discuss both of them. So first method, so we will write insert into and table name, and we will mention all the column names inside the parenthesis like emp id, name, age, department, and salary, and we'll close the parenthesis. Now we will go ahead and provide the values. We'll go ahead and say 01 as ID, Sagar as name. Now always make sure the columns which are storing the data type as varchar actually stores the string, and string should be always enclosed in single or double quotes. So, and we will give the age, which is 36, and after that department is IT. Again it's a string, so we will enclose it in the commas. In that we will give salary. All right, and we will close it. And after that, we will go ahead and give the semicolon as it's the end of the statement. So we will go ahead and run this. So the insert statement was successful. Now there is another way of doing this. So I will copy this and just paste it here. So in this, right, we will exclude the column names. But in the second method, if you are excluding the column names, then you have to make sure that the order of the column should be same. Next, we will be seeing how to retrieve the data from the database. To retrieve the data from the table, we will be using the select command. We can either select all the columns of the table or we can select the specific columns of the table. So let's go ahead and see how it works. I will write the select query here. So we will use select star from employees. So select star from employees means what? We are trying to extract everything from the employees table. Let's go ahead and run it. See, you will be able to see all the records. Record is nothing but the row of the data. Since I have entered only one row, you are seeing only one entry here. So if I only want to access the employee name, which is a specific column, then rather than using star, I will just use emp name as column from employees. And if I run this, only the emp name will be selected. Okay, so this is how we use select statement for extracting the data. So this is all for this video, and in next video we will be going ahead and learning about how to filter data using where clause. If you are new to this channel and serious about learning the data skills, you can consider subscribing to my channel, and see you in the next one. Take care.